So greetings of the day, students. So as you already know that we have covered so many topics of Python till now. And now my focus is on a new topic that we are going to start from today onwards. And as you can see it on my screen, the name of the topic is strings. So in C and C++ also you have studied and you have come across this name strings, right? So if you remember that in case of C or C++, you always talk about strings as a combination of characters. For example, if I give an example of string to you, so Navleen is a string. Okay, so it is made up of 7 characters, right? If I take the example hello is also a string and it is made up of 5 characters, right? So string is actually a long series of characters. There can be one character only in a string. So if you say that okay, only n, then n only is a string. Okay, so let's start this new topic. So in case of Python particularly, we don't have this data type char. Char doesn't exist in case of Python. In case of Python, we always work with strings. Okay, so a string can be anything. So if I write just this thing, n in single quotes or n in double quotes, so it is a string. Similarly, if I'm writing hello in single quotes or the same hello in double quotes, it's again a string. What's the difference? The first string that I have created, it is made up of only one character, that is n. On the other hand, this string that I am creating, it is made up of how many characters? 5 characters. Okay, so a string is actually a sequence of one or more than one. There can be a single one character and there can be more than one characters also. So you can see here the very first line is saying that a string is a sequence of characters. And in Python, actually the string is an object of which class? str class. So strings we are going to use, but in Python, there is a dedicated class. In C++ we have done classes. So every class has object. So if I talk about your class, BCA third. So this is the name of the class. Who are the object of your class? All the students of this class are the objects of the class. Similarly, all the strings that I am going to create, those strings will belong to which class? Those strings will be objects of which class? str class. For example, if I am creating a string hello, okay, so hello is an object of which class? Because it is a string, so it is an object of str class. Similarly, a single n, so again it is a string and it is an object of str class. So whatever strings you are creating, all the strings will become an object of str class. In many languages, for example, in C or C++, strings are treated as an array of characters. When there are so many characters combined together and you store them in an array. For example, you remember in case of C++, you write it like this: char, name, and then 10. So it means this is a character array that is capable of storing how many characters maximum? It is capable of storing 10 characters, right? So that's why it is telling you that in many languages you call strings with another name, and what's that name? That name is array of characters. Okay, but in Python, string is an object of which class? str class, right? And every class has lots of constructors. We are not going to discuss constructors, but still string class also, it has lot of constructors. Okay, so now how you can create a string, this topic covers it. So by assigning a value to a variable, you can see here, create a string object by assigning a string value to a variable. So you always have a variable. Can you see? Suppose s1, because we are creating strings. So suppose s1 is your variable that is going to store a string object, right? And if to S1, I will give something like this, nothing in it. It means I am going to create an empty string, a string with quotes only and nothing in between. It means this S1 will become an empty string. Okay. In the second line, you can see that there is another string variable that is S2. And this time I have assigned it a value hello, right? It means this second string S2, which has value hello, is not an empty string. It has a value. This S2 is not an empty string. It has a value. So what's the value it has? It has the value hello. Okay, so you can create an empty string by assigning nothing in between the quotes, and you can create a string by assigning a value in between the quotes, right? It is similar to integers that you create. If you write a equals to 2, what's the value of a? 2. Right? If you write a equals to 0, what's the value of a? The value of a is 0. Similarly, you can create an empty string, a blank string, or a string with a value. Now let me help you with the string creation here. Okay, so I have opened the idle. Okay, so the same thing I'm writing here. So let the name of the first string I am creating be S1. Right, string 1, and this time I am not assigning it any value. Okay, next time I am creating a string S2 and I am assigning it a value. Suppose my name Navleen. Okay, so both these strings will be created. The first string S1 will be an empty string. The second string S2 will be a string with the value Navleen. Okay, so if I want to display the contents of S1, so what I have to do? I have to just print the name, that is S1, right? And if I press enter after writing S1, what will I get? I will get nothing, because the string is there. Obviously there is a string, but it is a null string. It is an empty string. On the other side, if I write S2, right, and if I press enter, can you see it is giving me a value which is there in S2? Yes, that is the Navleen value, right? So this is how we can create a string on the idle or on the shell. Okay, you can also create strings inside the file. So suppose this is a file I have, right? And here what I am going to do, I'm creating a string. Suppose S1 is again an empty string and S2 is a string with the name. So let it be my name, right? And then if you want to print them, you can't write S1, S2 directly. You know that this is a file, so you have to give the command print S1, right, to print the S1's value, and print S2 to write print S2's value, right? So let's save it somewhere, maybe on the desktop, give it a name, maybe 2. And when I run it, can you see the same output is displayed here? At the top, you are getting nothing. Before Navleen, nothing is printed, not even quotes. So this is the feature of print, that when you print a string with print statement, so quotes never come. Can you see? Even your Navleen's value is not coming in the quotes. Okay, and if there is a blank string, so it is just giving you a blank space, right? Nothing like that. So here, but you are getting the quotes, and it is telling you that, okay, this is empty, and it is coming in the quotes, and it is telling you, okay, Navleen is in it. But here you can see the space above Navleen, right? It means this is the empty string and this is the value of the string S2. Okay, so we are done with the string creation. So the thing that I was about to tell you, that you can create an empty string, right? Or you can create a string with value, that's your choice. Even you can create string with spaces in between it. Like if I create a string like hello and then give space and then I write world. Okay, and don't get confused. You can write your strings inside single quotes, or you can write your string inside double quotes. Both things are the same. Okay, after that, so these are the inbuilt functions, and I hope that we have done these functions. I don't remember if we have done these functions already or not. So these are the inbuilt functions for string. It means you can directly apply these functions on the strings, right? So the very first function is min. Next function is, it is short for minimum. This function is short for maximum. Okay, and it returns you the maximum will return you the largest, right? And this minimum will return you the smallest character in a string. Okay, and then there is this string length. Len stands for length. So if you want to calculate the length of a string, so length means how many characters that string have. So how you can do that? You can use the function length. Okay, so let's do it one by one. So suppose I have created a string and the variable name is a, and the value this is storing is Python, all in capitals. Okay, so string's name is now not S1, the string's name is now a. You can write any name, it hardly makes difference. And then the value it has is Python. Okay, now I'm applying the very first function, which is length. So what I have to write? I have to write the name of the function, which is len. And then in the brackets of the function, I have to pass that string's name whose length I want to check. Okay, so to length function, I am passing which string's name? I am passing this string's name. So it is going to tell me the length of which string? A string. So if you just check what is the length of your A string, how long your A string is, it is actually 6 characters long. Can you see? P, Y, T, H, O, N. So it has total 6 characters. So when you write length A and then you press enter, so it has given you total 6 characters. Okay. Similarly, we are applying min on A. So minimum out of A means which is the minimum character. So what do you mean by minimum? So if I have this string, so minimum character it is showing is H. Why it is showing H? Minimum character it is showing H, because if you start from A, B, C, D, E and so on, and you go towards Z, out of these characters, which character comes first? Out of P, Y, T, H, O, N, on the ABC line, which character comes first? A, B, C, D, E, F, G and H comes first, right? So H is returned as the minimum character. Similarly, maximum means if you go on this line, which character is closest to the Z side? So whatever character is closest to the A side, that is considered as the minimum. Whatever character is closest to the Z side, that is considered as the maximum. Okay, so in Python, you know that Y is at the closest side of Z. So Y is returned as the maximum character. Let me give you one more example, that if we have this string with us, S1 equals to hello. And if I apply this length function on S1, so the length will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So output will be 5, right? And if I check that which character is minimum in S1. So minimum means if we start from the ABC line, which is coming first? So obviously E is coming first. That was a nice answer. So E. And if we want to calculate the maximum of S1, it means what is away, right? So A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O. O comes at the end, right? So maximum character is O. How I am telling that O is the maximum character? Because when we say this ABC, A, B, C, D, E, E is coming first, so I'm not interested in it. F, G, H, H is coming next. No, I want maximum. I, J, K, L, L is coming next. M, N, O, O is coming last in it. So that's why O is the maximum character in this. So I hope that this length, maximum and minimum, these 3 functions are okay. So suppose I have a string, right? Let the name of the string is A, right? And what's the value in this string? I am storing the value BCA. Okay, then I want to apply length function on A to check what is the length of A. Then I want to apply minimum function on A to check what is minimum character. Then I want to apply max on A to check which one is the maximum character. So length, when you apply on A, will give the length of this. So by length, I mean that how many characters it has. So can you see how many characters it has? It has 3 characters. So the length's output will be 3. Similarly, minimum. So minimum doesn't mean, if I say that, okay, what is minimum between 10 and 12? So you will reply very fast, okay, ma'am, 10 is the minimum, right? If I tell, okay, out of 12 and 13, which one is maximum? So you will reply very fast, okay, ma'am, 13 is maximum. But now we are not dealing with the numbers, right? We are dealing with the characters. So the first, we have to check that out of BCA, if I want to check which is minimum. Minimum means which starts first. If I say, if I recite ABC, A, B, C, D, E, F, so on. If I write this whole ABC and if I check out of these 3 characters, which character is coming in the beginning of ABC? So can you see A is coming in the beginning? So I will say that, okay, the minimum character is A. Now this is done now. Now I have to find the maximum. Maximum means if you move in this line, the one which is away from A, that is the maximum. Now B is close, C is the last coming in the line. It means it is the maximum. I hope that this is clear now. So next we have to use this operator on the strings. What is the name of this operator? The index operator. Okay. So what is the purpose of index operator? So first of all, the name is index and the symbol of index operator is this, the square brackets. Okay. So square brackets, and the name of this operator is index. You know that whenever you read a book, there are suppose 20 chapters, right? And if you want to go to a particular chapter, you want to see that this chapter is on which page number. Suppose I want to go to directly to chapter number 10, right? And I want to see that what is the chapter's page number. If I want to go to 10, I have to check the page number of 10. So there is an index given at the starting of your book, that chapter 1 starts at this page, chapter 2 starts at this page, chapter 3 starts at this page. So an index is a way of uniquely locating the page, right, of your chapter. So if you directly go in the index at chapter number 10, so there will be a page number mentioned next to it, that okay, your chapter 10 maybe is at page number 300. So what you will do, you will just go through the pages, you will just turn out the pages, and till the point you reach at the page number 300 something, where there is chapter 10, right? Similarly, you know that you have strings, and every character in a string is occupying some position, right? If I take the example that this is a string hello, right? This is a string. So you know that you say that, okay, H is at first location, E is at second location, the L is at third location, the next L is at fourth location or position, you can say, and the last O is at the fifth position, right? So these positions, these locations I am talking about, these are known as indexes. Okay, so every character of your string is at a unique position or a unique location or a unique index it is using. Okay, so the characters in a string. So suppose I am not interested in the entire string. What's the name of the string? The name of the string is India. Okay, and I don't want to display the entire string. I don't want to print the whole string. I just want to print only D out of it, or I only want to print I out of it. So if I know the position of I or D, only then I will be able to print it. So how I can just print or check the location of a single character in a string? With the help of index operator. Okay, so the characters in a string, you know that this is a string and it has characters. So the characters in a string can be accessed one at a time. right? You can access them one at a time. First of all, I will use I, then N, then D, then I, then A. And how you can do that? With the help of index operator. Okay, and the first character, you say that okay, I is at first location, N is at second, D is at third, then I is at fourth, then A is at fifth. But in case of Python, the first character of a string is stored at which position? 0 position. It means I is at 0, N is at 1. You know that your array is always starting from 0. We always say that array starts storing the elements from 0. Similarly, in case of your Python also, the strings, the first element of your string is always located at 0th position. So this is at 0, this is at 1, second, third, and fourth. So instead of starting them from first, you have to say that you are starting them from 0. That's the only difference. Okay, so you start them from 0. So the last string will always be 1 less than the length of the string. Let me explain you again that suppose this is a string, right? And it has total 5 characters in it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if I start the positioning of it, 0, first, second, third, fourth. So obviously the last element of your string will be at location length minus 1, right? This is written here. So this is the graphical representation of how the strings are stored. So S is a string's name, right? And the string is India, suppose, right? So I is at which position? S0. Strings 0th position. N is at strings first position. D is at strings second position. I is at strings third position, and A is at strings fourth position. So this is how you refer to each element of your string. So here is an example that will make it even more clear to you. So suppose I have a string with the name S1 and the value it is storing is Python. Okay, so this is how I have created the string. S1 equals to, and in double quotes, I am assigning the value Python. Okay, now if I write the name of the string, which is S1, and using the index operator, I write only 0. You know that 0 means the first character. So what is displayed? Only P is displayed. S1's 0 means only P. If I write S1's 5, so what will happen? This is 0, this is 1, T is at 2, H is at 3, O is at 4, you know, N is at 5. So if I write S1's string's 5th character, so it is displaying the N character starting from 0. Take one more example. If you write A equals to, and the name of the, and the value of the string is IIT, right? And you want to display the third character of A like this. A is the third character. So this is 0, this is 1, this is 2. You know, there is no 3. So you will get an error. Error is that your string index is out of range. What is your range? Your range is you can start from 0 and you can go till 2. If you write A3, A4, A5, which are not actually present, you will get an error. So I have a string which is quite long, very long. It's a statement. This is Python and we are learning Python. Okay, I want to do one more example with you. So if I have this string hello space world, there is one space. Okay, so if I write S3 5, what will be the? So here space is actually calculated. Okay, so I was telling you that suppose I have a string with so many words and spaces, words and spaces, words and spaces, words and spaces, and so on. Suppose there is a whole paragraph written, and then I tell you that what will be the position of the last character, right? If I write hello and I ask you what will be the position of last character, you will be very fast to answer. Okay, it will be 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4, right? You will say that it is 4. Whenever we talk about the position or location, always start it from 0. Whenever we say length, always started from 1. Okay, so if I ask you what will be the position of the last character, you will say 4. But if there is a long string, like suppose this is a string, access the first element of the string. So this is a string, s is equals to access the first element of the string. This is a string I have. So if I will ask you, okay, what is the position of the last g? So you have to start counting 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, space 7, 8, 9, space 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, space 16, so on, right? And you can calculate it after wasting some seconds. But if the line is more bigger, then it will waste more and more time to go to the last element of your string to check the position of the last element of the string. Now I am going to save your time. How? Let's see. Now we can also access the characters via which indexing? Negative indexing, right? We are using the negative indexing. Why negative? Means we are going to start with the minus numbers. Till now we are dealing with positive numbers starting from 0, 1, 2, 3 and so on. But we can also consider negative numbers. Okay, now what is negative indexing? So negative index, it first of all accesses the characters from the end of the string. Generally we start accessing the elements from the beginning of the string. But if you are using negative index, you can start in the reverse order also from the last. Okay, so can you see here the index of the last character of any non-empty? Non-empty means there should be some value in it. It should not be empty, non-empty. Python is a value. So the index of last character of any non-empty string is always -1. Can you see? So the same string Python I have, if you use, and the name is s, right? If you use the positive indexing, what will be the index of it? It will be 0, this will be 1, this will be 2, this will be 3, this will be 4, and this will be 5. Now we are doing the negatives. So negative start from the end. One thing is this always starts from the end. Second thing is that as positive indexes start from 0, negative indexes start from -1. So n is at -1, o is at -2, h is at -3, t is at -4, y is at -5, and p is at -6. So you are starting from the reverse direction. You are writing the indexes with the negative sign, and you are not starting from 0. Instead, you are starting from -1. If you write -0, it will be wrong. Okay, so now here is an example that suppose you have this string s equals to Python. If you write s -1 directly, it will give you the last element. So if in the exam also, or if in any placement drives paper, the question is that suppose this is a string, long string, okay, display the index of the last character, right? Or display last character. What's the question? Display only last character. What you have to do? You have to just write the name of the string and you have to write -1. It will automatically display the last character of that string. So suppose I have a string IIT Bombay, right? This is the string. And if I write s -3, okay. So if I just want to calculate s -3, so I will go to which character? -1, -2, -3. It is displaying Bombay. Okay. Now let me answer. This is important. So immutable strings. This is the new topic. Immutable. If you have watched the movies, English movies, so there is always a term mutant, right? So when they say that there are Avengers and they are the mutants, so mutants means there was a normal human being, right? And those human being underwent some changes, right, in their DNA or maybe biologically, and then they, because of those changes, they possess certain powers, right? So certain mutants, they can fly. Other mutants, they can just move very fast. For example, there is an example of Flash. Flash is also a mutant hero that can just move really fast. So what is special he has that we don't have? It means in his DNA there are some changes. He is a normal human being, but there are some changes happening to his DNA or happen to his DNA. That's why he is possessing those supernatural powers, because of which he can move at the speed of light. Okay, so we say that, okay, we are normal human beings and they are the mutants. Mutant means after changes they become the mutants. Okay, similarly this mutant means that something that is changed, that is changeable. And on the other side, if we say immutant, we say that something that is not changeable, right? One thing that you can't change, that is immutant. And on the other side, if you can change something, that is mutant. Okay, so similarly this word immutable strings say that here, that your character sequences, your all the characters that you are going to do in the future classes also, they fall in two categories. We are doing strings now. Okay, there are lists also, there is set, there is dictionary, there are so many things, and they fall under two category: mutable and immutable. So mutable means changeable and immutable means non-changeable. Okay, so mutable means changeable and immutable means unchangeable, the thing that you can't change. So the strings are immutable sequence of characters. It means once you created a string, you created a string s1 with certain value, you can't change that string. Okay, but what happen if you try to change the contents of the string? So suppose this is a string, I have the name of the string is str1, that is the name. And what's the value it is storing? It is storing I space love space Python. Okay, so now what I am trying to do here, that string one's zeroth position, what is at string one's zeroth position? It is I. Okay, what I am trying to do, to string one's zeroth position, I am assigning a new value u, right? Instead of I am assigning it a new value u. What I'm trying to do, I'm trying to write that this position should take a new value u. Okay, and then I'm trying to print the string one after that. But what I get, instead of getting you love Python, I am getting an error. What is the type error? String object does not support item assignment, right? This you love Python will not come, because once you create a string, you can't change it. So you got an error. String object does not support item assignment. It means you are trying to assign a new item to a some position of your string. This is not possible. One cannot change the existing string. A string once created, you cannot change it. That's why we are saying that it is immutable. Okay, so next we have strings. Like we have integers. 2 is the integer 2. And on integers, you can perform certain operations with the help of certain operators. If I write plus operator, what will happen? The integers will get added. If I write minus operator, the integers will get subtracted. Similarly, now you are working on strings and not integers. Okay, similarly, strings have their own operators that you can apply on the strings. Okay, so what are the name of the operators? First is slicing operator, right? And also we will discuss this slicing operator later on in this slide. In this slide, actually, after it has plus operator, which is used for concatenation. There is in operator, there is star operator. So there are these total 4 operators that we are going to discuss. Slicing, concatenation means plus, in, and repetition operator means star. Okay, so first of all, let's start with the string slicing operator. Okay, so suppose you people had visited to you have visited to pizzeria, right? Any place that is selling pizza, Domino's maybe. Okay, and then you purchased a pizza. Okay, and you are total 4 people who want to eat that pizza. So you will divide your pizza into how many slices? you will divide your pizza into total 4 slices. This is one slice that one friend will eat. This is the second slice. This is the third slice. This is the fourth slice. Okay. Now here I'm not going to talk about pizza. Now let's suppose that this pizza is a string. Okay. So you want to divide, you want to cut your string into slices. Okay. So suppose hello is a string. So I want to cut into slices. So what I want that hell should become a separate slice and O will become a separate slice. I am dividing my hello into 2 slices. Hell is one slice, right? O is the another slice. Okay. So if you want to cut your string into 2 slices, you always think upon that, okay, where to start the cutting from and till which point you have to go for the cutting. Okay, I am starting it from 0 and I am cutting it till 3. Then I will get hello. Let me write it again, that if I have hello, I want to cut it like this. So I have to start from 0, 1, 2 and 3 will be the last. So the slice will start from this hell slice will start from 0 and it will go till 3. So whenever you are slicing, you are dividing your string into smaller pieces. So you use which operator? You use a slicing operator. And what is slicing operator? It is again the index operator, but this time you have to mention the start point, from where to start, for example 0, and where to end, for example 3. Okay, so whenever you do it, the slicing operator return you a subset, a smaller string. Okay, if you have a bigger string hello, this hell is a subset of it, a small part of it, and we call it slice. Okay, and how you get the slice? By specifying 2 indexes, the start index and the end index. So start from 0, end at 3, like this. Okay, and its syntax is used to return the subset of a string. This is what I said. So first of all, what you write the name of the variable of a string. So for example, if this is a string s equals to IIT Bombay, so if I want to slice it, first of all I have to write the name of variable of the string. So what is the name of the variable? S. It means the string's name. Don't get confused that why this is so long, not name of variable of a string. So if s equals to IIT Bombay is a string, if you want to cut it down, so which string you are cutting down? S. So first you have to write the name of the string, S. Okay, then you have to write the starting index. So 4, if I'm writing 4, it means from where it will start cutting it. This is 0, this is 1, this is 2, this is 3. It will start cutting it from B of Bombay. Okay, so from here it will start. After that, it goes till 10. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It means the last value. If you want to go till, I have started it from here 4. So if I want to keep all the Bombay, this is 4, this is 5, this is 6, this is 7, this is 8, this is 9. I know that 9 is the last one. I have to write the last index always 1 greater. Okay, so if I want to reach till 9, I have to write S4 10. Only then it will give me till 9 the value of the string. Okay, but if you write S4 and then here you write 9, what will happen? It will give you the value till 8. It will only return you BOMB, and till 8 it will return you A. You also want Y included, so go 1 index more. Like the 4, you remember for loop, you always give the last index 1 more than the previous index. Okay, so 4, we start from 4 to 1 index less than that of the end parameter. Okay, so if you write 10, it will give you the 9 value. So suppose I have the string, let the name of the string be S. Okay, and the value in the string is I love Python. Okay, and I want to display, this is the whole string. I want to cut it into slices. And what I want, I don't want I don't want space, I don't want love, I don't want space. I want only Python. I want to display only Python. Okay. So if you see that if you want only Python, you have to figure out that from where your P is starting. What is the position of P? So if you check, this is 0, this space is at 1, this is at 2, this is at 3, this is at 4, this is at 5, this space is at 6. So P starts from 7. It means if you want Python from P, so you write 7, starting from 7. Then this is 8, your Y is 8, right? Your Y is 8, T is 9, H is 10, O is 11, N is 12. So you have to go till 12, but here you have to mention till 13. Only then it will go till 12. Okay. So you always have to go one index more than what you want. If you want 12 included, so you have to write one more than that. It means you have to write 13 in it. Okay. Instead of it, if you only write 12, what will happen? You will get it till only O, till 11. 12 will not be included. So whatever you are writing, it is not included. Only one less than that will be included. It means if you are writing 12, it will come till 11. Okay. So you always go one more than that. So till now, we are dealing with this cutting of your string. Okay. But we are considering only elements one by one. IIT Bombay. Okay. So if I am just displaying Bombay, so I have just avoided these first 4 and I started from here, here. Every next 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, then plus 1, 5, then 6, then 7, then 8, then 9, so on with the increment of 1. You can also give a step size here. You remember in case of for loop, we were giving it a jump of 2, jump of 3. Similarly, here you can also do string slicing with the step size. Okay, so for example, if in the question they will say only display every second character of the string. So suppose I have a string Navleen and they say that out of Navleen display every second character. Every second character means this is the first character, display this. This is a character, display this, right? Avoid it, this is second character, display it, avoid it, this is the next second character, this is the next second character. Okay, so I am displaying only the second character. I'm displaying A, then L, then next E, and so on. Okay, so how this is possible? With the help of step size. Okay, the first 2 parameters, start and end, will remain same. From where to start, from where to end, that will remain same. Okay, there will be an additional parameter, third parameter. What is the name of that parameter? Step size. What will be the jump you want to give? Like if I say that jump to every second character, jump to every third character. Okay, so suppose this is the syntax, name of the variable, start index, colon, end index, colon, and the step size. Here also you have to put a colon in between, right? So here also you put the colon. So suppose S equals to IIT Bombay. And now out of this string, I want to start from the beginning and go till the end. Right? I have to consider this whole string, and in the whole string, I want to display every second character. So what it is written? So if you want to start from the beginning, it has written 0 to start from the beginning. And then to consider the whole character, one option is that you start counting it and waste your time. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then you write 10 here. This is one thing. Other thing is that you don't waste time in counting and you just write length of the string. It means automatically it will go till length 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Automatically 10 will come here. And then the jump you want to give to it is 2. So what will happen? Every second character will be displayed. So this will not get displayed. This I will display. This will not get displayed. This B. Sorry. This will come, right? And then there will be a skip of this second character. T will come. there will be a skip of this, B will come, a skip of O, M will come, right? A skip of B, A will come, and so on. So this is how it will work. After that, we have these two operators, plus and star operator. So the plus operator is also known as the concatenation. When you have two strings and you want to join them, right? It is used to join. For example, S1 string is IIT, right? S2 string is Delhi. So if you just write S1 plus S2, you know, S1 and S2 are the strings, and I am doing the operation of plus on the strings now and not on the integers. If I write S1 plus S2, it means I am adding string 1 to string 2. Okay, so what will be the output I will get? I will get IIT Delhi. I will get a combined joint string. So plus is actually concatenating them. It is actually joining the strings. Okay. After that, we have this star operator. It is also known as the repetition operator or multiplication. Repetition means it is repeating something. Okay. So the multiplication operator is used to concatenate the same string multiple times. So can you see here, S1 is equals to hello. This is a string. If I write S2 equals to 3 times S1, what will happen? S2 equals to 3 times S1. It means S1 will come 3 times hello, 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 and that value will be assigned to S2. So what will be the value in S2? 3 times hello, right? If S1 is equals to hi, and if I write S2 equals to 3 times S1, what will be the value of S2? S2's value will be 2 times hi. This operator, the name of the operator is in, and it's another version is not in. It's very important and very interesting operator. So both operators in and not in, they are used to check whether a string is present in another string or not. So suppose I have a string S1 and it has value information technology. Now what I'm going to check? I'm going to check if the string technology is present in S1. If I ask a question that this is a string S1, it has information technology as the value of it. And if I ask a question to myself, okay, in S1, is the technology present? Yes, in S1 technology is present. So how I will do? I will write in double quotes technology in S1. This is like a question that is the technology present in this S1 string? Answer will be true because yes, technology string is present in the whole string information technology. Now, if I write is engineering in double quotes, I'm writing engineering is present in S1. How I write engineering in S1? So answer is false because in information technology, engineering word is not present. So suppose last time I am using not in. Not in means the reverse of in. So same string S1 equals to information technology. Now I will write hello not in S1. It means hello is not present in S1. So it is giving me the answer true. Let me give you an example. If I write S1 equals to Navleen Kaur and I write Kaur in S1, so answer will be true. Yes, Kaur is present in S1. So if I write hello in S1, I will get false because in S1, hello is not present. So there are other operations that you can apply on the string, right? For example, to calculate the length, we have calculated it with the help of length function. We have retrieved the individual character by using the index operator. Similarly, we can also compare and concatenate. We have concatenated the string with the plus operator. So suppose if we just want to compare two operators. So operators like this, equality, less than, greater than, less than, equals to, greater than, equals to, not equals to, they can be used to compare the strings. Like we write 2 is less than, like we write 2 is less than 3. So we are comparing two integers. Similarly, we can also compare two strings. Okay, so suppose S1 is a string and S2 is also a string. In S1, we have the small ABCD. In S2, we have the capital ABCD. So if I write S1 is greater than S2, Okay, so what I am comparing that the small ABCD string is greater than the capital ABCD string. So you know that whenever you know this ASCII value of every character has its ASCII value. You know that the ASCII value of how it is comparing. It is comparing on the basis of their ASCII value. Okay, so small ABC they have the highest ASCII value as compared to the capital ABCD. So if they have the highest value, so it will say that yes, this is true. Okay, so I don't actually remember what is the ASCII value of A. I hope that suppose the ASCII value of A is 95. This ASCII value, ASCII. The ASCII value of capital A is, I think, that 65. So it is comparing them on the basis of their ASCII value. If you write S1 equals to ABCD, S2 is also equals to ABCD, both strings are same, and you write S1 is equals to S2, you will get true because both have the same value, right? ASCII value. Then there is the split method that we can use. So suppose I have a string like this. str1 is the name of the string, and what is the value? It's C space C++ space Java space Python. So this is the value of the string. If I will write str1 dot split, what will happen? It will split it on the basis of the space. Here you have to write one more thing, there is missing. You have to put double quotes with the space. So you are splitting, it means you are breaking it. Okay, so how many substrings you will get if you write string1 dot split and with the double quotes, blank double quotes, nothing in between. So it will tell you that there is C comma C++ comma Java comma Python. So it just splits them, breaks them wherever it gets a space. It is getting a space here, so it put a comma. It is getting a space here, it is putting comma. It is getting a space here, so it is putting a comma. So splitting means to break up a string into smaller strings. And at what point it will break? Wherever it will get space, because you have given the criteria two quotes with nothing in it. It means wherever there is a space, it will consider it as a separate value. Okay, there are other methods that you can use. Okay, let me help you with these methods also. So on this happy note, I am about to end this class, and I hope that the understanding of strings is clear and you will be able to do operations on the strings. And in the next class, we will start a new topic, and that is list. Okay, so till then, bye-bye. Take care.